Imagine this. You spot a ship drifting alone in the middle of the Atlantic. You move closer. You call out, but no one answers. You move closer. You call out, but no one answers. The wooden ship creaks softly with the waves. Apart from the faint sound of ropes and sails, there is complete silence. Finally, they reach the Mary Celeste. A few sailors carefully step onto her deck. They look around, but the entire ship is deserted. It almost feels as if people had been here only moments before. But now, not a single person remains. Where was the captain? Where was his wife? Where was his 2-year-old daughter? And what about the 7 crew members? All 10 people were gone. But what made it even stranger was that there was no obvious sign of a disaster that could explain their disappearance. But then the sailors noticed something that made the mystery even stranger. The ship wasn't completely damaged. Most of its cargo was still there. Food and water supplies were still on board. So why would 10 people abandon the ship? But when they examined the ship more carefully, they noticed something important was missing: the lifeboat. And that discovery changed everything, because it meant that at some point, the captain and the others had left the ship. But one question still remained: why? The Mary Celeste was eventually taken to Gibraltar. There, officials began a formal investigation into the mysterious disappearance. The question seemed simple: why would 10 people abandon a ship that was still afloat? Investigators examined the vessel carefully. They looked for every possible clue. And then, they began considering several different explanations. One question came first. Was it murder? Had a violent confrontation taken place on board? Had the crew mutinied? Or had someone attacked the others? Investigators couldn't simply rule these possibilities out. But there was one major problem. They found no solid evidence that could prove any of these theories. But one fact kept standing out during the investigation. The Mary Celeste wasn't destroyed. The ship was still capable of sailing. Most of its cargo was still there. Food and water was still on board. So why would a captain, his wife, his young daughter, and 7 crew members abandon a ship like this? Then investigators noticed another important detail. The Mary Celeste was carrying around 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, and some of those barrels had leaked. That led to a new theory. Could alcohol vapors have frightened the captain into abandoning the ship? If alcohol vapors had built up inside the ship, the captain may have feared the possibility of fire or an explosion. And if he believed the ship had become temporarily unsafe, he may have made a desperate decision to get everyone off the ship. Perhaps Captain Briggs believed it was only a temporary decision. Perhaps he thought they could stay a short distance away in the lifeboat and return to the Mary Celeste once the danger had passed. But if that really happened, one question remains: why didn't they come back? And then, perhaps the small lifeboat began drifting away from the Mary Celeste. If the line connecting it to the ship had broken, the situation could have changed in seconds. On one side, a small lifeboat in the open Atlantic, and on the other, the Mary Celeste, still drifting with the waves. And if that distance kept growing, getting back may have become impossible. But if the rope really did break, the Mary Celeste may have drifted farther and farther away. That small lifeboat had no engine, no modern communication system, only oars, wind, and a relentless ocean. And perhaps this was the moment when their last chance of returning disappeared. If that's what happened, then the only thing separating those 10 people from the Mary Celeste was the ocean. One small lifeboat, the vast Atlantic all around them, and the Mary Celeste drifting farther away. Eventually, the ship may have disappeared from their sight. And after that, the Atlantic offered them no second chance. But there's something important to remember. The alcohol theory is only a theory. There is no definitive proof that Captain Briggs actually abandoned the ship because of alcohol vapors. And that's what makes the Mary Celeste so mysterious. We know the ship was found, but we still don't know why its people left. Today, more than a century and a half later, we know some things for certain. The Mary Celeste left New York in November 1872. Weeks later, it was found abandoned in the Atlantic. The ship wasn't completely destroyed, but all 10 people on board were gone. And the biggest question is still the same. We may never know what truly happened aboard the Mary Celeste in 1872. Was it a terrible accident? Did the captain make one fatal decision? Or was there another explanation? One that time has taken with it forever? One thing is certain. The Mary Celeste remains one of history's most enduring maritime mysteries. Now tell me, what do you think happened to those 10 people? Leave your theory in the comments. And if you enjoy real mysteries and unexplained stories from history, subscribe, because the next story might be even more unbelievable.